This is a bit of a hot take, but I think that the CompTIA A+ certification is not worth getting in 2026. And before any of you start going in the comment section with angry comments, look, I have the CompTIA A+ certification myself. I got it while I was in school back in 2023. So this is not coming from somebody who never passed it or failed and his butt hurt. I have it, right? I have it in my arsenal. I passed it. I learned the material. But honestly, I would say that if you're trying to get into IT today, in this day and age, I don't think you should waste your money on it. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why you should skip the A+. So stay tuned. Point number 1, the cost is high, but the ROI is low. For those of you who are not familiar and don't know what it takes to actually get this certification, there's 2 exams that you have to pass. The CompTIA A+ Core 1 and the CompTIA A+ Core 2. You have to pass those 2 to get the 1 certification. Each exam is roughly about $200, $250. So in total, you end up spending about $500 just to get 1 entry-level certification. And that's not even counting practice exams, study materials, and potential retake fees if you fail any one of the exams. So the stakes are high and the burden is already heavy for someone who's just getting started. The exams themselves are mostly multiple choice. I know that because I took these exams, right? So what ends up happening for most people is that it becomes about just memorizing information, cramming information, acronyms, just to pass the test with no real world application. But here's the bigger problem. Nowadays, companies aren't prioritizing the CompTIA A+ as much as they used to. The return on investment has significantly dipped. You hear horror stories of people getting this certification yet still unable to get a job. In my opinion, if you ask me, I think a better beginner certification is pursuing the Google IT Support Professional Certificate because it's cheaper. It's not such a big upfront cost for someone who's just getting started. I honestly feel like it's better designed for beginners. It's more hands-on. It offers hands-on labs, quizzes, troubleshooting exercises, and real IT scenarios. So instead of just memorizing answers to pass a test, you're learning how to solve real IT problems. And that's what you're gonna need once you're looking for your first job. Point number 2, to kind of expound on point number 1, employers are not really looking for this or prioritizing this as much as you think they are. From what I've seen thus far, working in IT and just looking at the market, many companies actually care more about certifications like the CompTIA Security Plus and the Network Plus. Now these are also CompTIA certifications, but in my opinion, I feel like they hold more weight, especially if you work in the government space, if you're in GovTech, or if you work in defense-related technology environments. The Security Plus is a mandate. It's a baseline. Before they even let you access anything, you need that. Actually, at my company, the one that I work at right now, right, we're not a government company, but we support government companies. So they literally say you need Security Plus, otherwise you can't start. Actually, when I got hired, there was a guy who got hired with me. He had Security Plus before, years ago, but it expired, right? So they let him in, but they didn't let him do anything, handle tickets or troubleshoot or do anything until he got that. He had to get the Security Plus in his first 30 days of working here. So Security Plus tends to hold more weight and be more well respected within the industry. If you're gonna spend time and your hard-earned money on any certification, pursue ones that are actually gonna push your career forward, not keep you stagnant. That's the truth. Point number 3, the material is too broad and partially outdated. Let's be real. A big portion of the exam focuses heavily on legacy hardware, old systems, old wires and cables and stuff like that. I'm be honest, you don't need to know that. You don't need to know that stuff. I'm be honest. You'll barely deal with these things in modern IT environments. And the reality is, if you don't use something regularly on the job, you'll end up forgetting about it anyways. So you don't need to know about VGA and DVI connectors, printer components, fusers, transfer belts, Corona wires. I don't even know what that is. I'm be honest. Floppy drives. You know, all these things are legacy They were there at one point, and if you want to learn it in your own time, that's fine. But in terms of doing it for a certification, it's not relevant. Modern IT today focuses more on things such as cloud platforms, identity and access management, security compliance, and software as a service applications. These are the kinds of technologies that companies are building their entire environments around. Instead of wasting time memorizing a bunch of old concepts that have nothing to do with today, with 2026, it makes sense on learning things that are actually relevant and you're actually going to use today. Where the CompTIA A+ fails is that it is just too broad. Yeah, there are some new things in there, but there's a lot of old stuff too. The fourth thing that I want to address is a common misconception that people have about working in IT. People tend to have this idea that IT is like this super complicated thing where you need to know everything about computers, you need to know every component and every little detail and everything just to even start. That's why they pursue the A+ anyways. And like I said before, they spend all this time memorizing these buzzwords and acronyms, but in the real world, it doesn't work like that. This is not a spelling bee. What I found working in IT service desk, you don't have to be like this technical genius. What matters more is actually having good customer service and soft skills. Believe it or not, no one expects you to know everything. You just have to know how to get to the answer. A huge part of working in IT is having listening skills, understanding the problem, asking the right questions, and then figuring out the next step. IT professionals are not trying to memorize everything, right? In my job, a lot of the tools that I use is number one, AI to troubleshoot. I might also use internal knowledge-based articles that people wrote internally, or other documentation that I can find, or previous tickets. So the reality is you don't have to memorize every detail. CompTIA A+ teaches you to memorize, but doesn't teach you to troubleshoot. Now at this point in the video, I want to offer one important caveat, right? I'm not saying that the knowledge that you get within the CompTIA A+ is completely useless. The fundamentals that you learn can absolutely help you learn IT, but you can learn a lot of the same material for free online. Professor Mezer is a guy who makes videos talking about the A+, Number Plus, and Security Plus. So you can just go watch his videos. You don't have to take the exam. If you want to take the exam, I mean, that's up to your discretion. But you can just watch the videos for free, gain the knowledge, gain the insight, and keep it pushing. That's all I'm saying. So all in all, I don't really care if my CompTIA A+ certification expires, because I'm on to bigger and better things now. If anything, I'm focusing my efforts towards pursuing Azure certifications, AZ900, AZ104, things that are actually propel me forward. In this day and age, the CompTIA A+ is not what it used to be. That's just my opinion. So, yeah, without further ado, Dan again, signing out.